the upstream sectors. So the upstream sectors is in jeopardy already.
How do you mean?
Yes. The reason is this: the upstream sectors, the crude oil, that is where the crude oil is being exploited. So we cannot ascertain.
Exported or exploited?
Yes.
Exploited.
Exploited.
All right, I want to get you right.
Yes, exploited. We cannot ascertain the volume of the crude oil that's been extracted on a barrel basis. So we are now, from the OPEC quota, Nigeria was given 2.4 million barrels per day. We cannot be able to meet up the volume. Now, the exact numbers of barrels Nigeria are producing, nobody can ascertain the particular number, the particular volumes of the barrel that Nigeria is producing to date.
So who is to be blamed?
The government. The government are to be blamed. So because there are facilities that should be put in place to measure out the volume that we are producing. So we cannot ascertain that. Now, those who are the NNPC as a major exporter of our crude is corrupt. Even to
do you have facts for that?
Yes, I have facts for that.
All
right. In every part of the world. So take example, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Kuwait, and Angola, even the Africa continent here. So they have the numbers of the barrel being produced on daily basis. But Nigeria, we cannot affirm the exact barrels of the crude oil that is being given to the global markets. That is from the NNPC. That is corrupt styles of our management. Secondly, from the side of the government, Nigeria, if we are to trade in the 20th or 20th century or whatever.
The 24th century.
24th century. You know, in the last 30 years ago that our refineries was constructed, 4 refineries that actively in place in Nigeria. 2 in Port Harcourt, 1 in Warri, and another one in Kaduna. Now, they were functioning then. It's at a sudden note, the malfunction of the refineries brought about subsidy saga, the subsidy syndrome. So the government cannot be able to probably to make the refinery functioning so that we divert to exporting our crude oil to the foreign country. So the subsidy come up.
So can we really blame this government for the downstream? Because you just said 30 years ago, yes, this thing has been on, and for some couple of years we enjoy the downstream. But all of a sudden we had so many problems, overhauling, and at the end of the day we could not really get results. Can you really blame this government for it? I think it's been ongoing. Or what's your take?
We can not only this present government that caused the problem, the previous government and trigger and the government of the day also, because you are before you come to the power, there are a lot of promises that Nigeria are going to be relieved.
That there's going to be a change.
Yes, there will be a change. And instead of getting that change, we are still importing poverty. We are still increasing the level of the poverty on Nigerians. So we can blame you in that side that you are not be able to fulfill your promise in your manifesto. If a serious government should come to the power, our refinery should be functioning. Before we can just be saying that subsidy removal or whatever the subsidy problem saga because it's a global contest, the subsidy or whatever. Now, the serious government should at least put in place or the refineries that are not functional or obsolete. They have to stand to correct the refineries.
Don't you think they are doing their best to make sure this?
They are not doing that. They have never been any action in making our refinery functioning. The reason is this, you know, they are now clamoring for the removal of subsidy. So what brought about the subsidy syndrome? Why should be subsidy be an order of the day that subsidy should be removed? At first place, Nigeria should not be exporting crude oil. A reasonable country, a serious country that is running economy and that is after the welfare of the citizen should not be exporting the crude oil, because the crude oil that we export, you pay for insurance, you pay for freight, you pay for security and for the exportation, and at the same time you bringing back the product, you still pay for insurance, you still pay for freight. See the double loss, the colossal loss that the nation will record. It's a madness.
So what does it take to build a refinery?
It doesn't. To build a refinery now, if you can see a private establishment that's ongoing that will be commissioned in Nigeria this month by the grace of God, Lekki refinery.
Oh, yes.
That is owned by the private establishments, Dangote. So you know, when he started, he make some borrowing, so from different sources, and the single trains facility, the largest single train facilities that we have in Nigeria, so are to be commissioned in this month as expected. So what take government from its own side to construct the refinery? Are they being the refinery that were in place are functioning well? I think this syndrome of subsidy, we could have used the money to build a very gigantic refinery, apart from the 4 on grounds. Now, you are now telling Nigerians that the subsidy that you are paying on the crude oil is not less than 3.2 trillion.
Okay.
So, per quarter. Now, if since you have been managing our energy sectors, that you have been exporting the energy sector all this while, see the amount of the income that Nigeria could have even been generated from the oil. Now, Nigerian government is now deceiving the Nigerians that they want to remove subsidy and they will be paying palliative for the Nigerian, for 40 million Nigerian. And if you calculate the amount of the subsidy that is being paid on PMS alone is as the amount of the palliative calculated for 40 million Nigerian is even higher. It's even higher than that of the subsidy that is being paid on the PMS alone. So what's justification on that? That, okay, we want to remove subsidy and we'll be paying Nigerians 5,000 naira. 40 million Nigerians will be collecting 5,000 naira. And if you calculate that amount, it's even higher than the subsidy that you are paying for the PMS alone, because subsidy is already removed from the
how much is 5,000 naira going to do in the lives of
at first instance how much is 5,000 naira that will be paying 40 million Nigeria? But what is the population of Nigeria? Over 200 million Nigeria. Why should only 40 people will be beneficial at first instance? Though it's erroneous, to be saying that we will be paying palliative of 5,000 naira for Nigerians. So
but the percentage is even wrong.
It's even wrong at first instance, and that is hilarious, and it's a kind of hypocrisy from the side of our leaders. Now, our exporting crude oil is synonymous to importation of the poverty to the country. If the refineries are working, see the numbers of the Nigerians who will be working in one of the refinery. Nigerians who are to be working, apart from the relief that Nigerians will have from, and apart from the income that Nigeria will be, the nation will be generating from the functioning refineries. Now, the refineries are not working. We export all the products. In the recent time, what brought about the problem really is that the government is now telling Nigerians that, NNPC, because when we are, the definition of NNPC and the government, when we are mentioning NNPC, so you are mentioning the government, because the government is the controller of the NNPC. They are not there. When you are talking of Nigeria government, you are talking of CBN.
The Minister of Petroleum is the president of the nation.
Yes. Now the crude oil, the upstream sectors taking the crude oil through NNPC for refining in the foreign land. Now we suddenly heard from the NNPC that 21 depot that we have are not functioning again. There the problem come up with the crisis that we are now having, and couple against with rehabilitation of the Apapa Road. Now, but the major problem is that 21 depot, none of them are functioning now. So by the time the product landed, so they now hire the private the installation for the storage of the products. So there the problem come. So the IPMAN, Independent Marketer Association of Nigeria, they are taking the product through third party now, at detriment of Nigerians. When they take the private owners of the farm tank, they charge based on their own interest, because they are running their own private establishment, private installation on a profit motive. That is where the problem comes. So instead of 21 depot that NNPC have taken the product and storing the product there, and directly the IPMAN we get the product directly from the NNPC. And likewise, the major marketer, we are having their own products through their depot. So the reverse is the case. So that is where crisis just come up. And are we sure that what's responsible for malfunctioning of the 21 depot at the same time? We have 12 in Lagos.
I was about to ask you that.
We have 12 in Lagos. We have 9 in Kaduna. None of them are functioning now. So that is political, economical. That is hypocrisy from the side of the government. Now they want to, they are trying to introduce a kind of what do we call it? A kind of
policy
that we force Nigeria to buy at the price they are going to fix the pump price. So by the time the Nigerians For instance, now everybody running etasketa to get the fuel for the activities of the day. Either, irrespective of the amount they are selling it, everybody is ready to buy it.
All right, let's talk about this, the price control. We don't have price control in Nigeria at the moment, but we have PPR that is controlling the price of the petrol. But as at the moment, we are not seeing that working. What do you think is responsible? Is there any response policy that should be given to the importers and exporters?
You know, like I said, the PPRA, they are also the government agency. The hypocrisy from the side of the government, they are using them based on the direction and the policy from the side of the government. They are not there because when we don't have any crisis in the recent time, you know, by the time the government of the day was not ambitious to make changes in some kind of the policy they are making. So you can see that there wasn't anything of such fuel hike.
Oh, yes.
Now, but when the government want to introduce something, it changes. They use all this regulatory agency to hang off their hand and to dance to the government tune where they are going. But Nigerian system, right from the top to the common Nigerians, the system is corrupt. The PPRA have no anything they can do than what government instructed them to do. That's the basis. That's the genesis of the problem. They can't do anything. And PPRA that we are talking, that should have been managing all the independent marketers, they know the genesis of the problem. The IPMA, the independent marketer, cannot get the product from the first party. They are getting the product from the third party. How? And the government is telling Nigerians that the pump price is not changed. And the price they are buying from the major marketer depot is higher than normal. I could recall probably in the 2 weeks ago, they are buying per liter from the major marketers, from major marketers depot, 210 naira and trigger to 230 naira. And they are profit-oriented establishments. So they are trying to make their own profits. So that is where the problem comes. The PPRA cannot work because the PPRA is NNPC subsidiary. And they know where the problem comes. They know that they are the genesis of the present problem that we are having. So as a result of that, there's nothing they can do. So the IPMAN, independent marketer, they are using all these avenue so to add more pains to the problem Nigeria are having in energy crisis. Because every time there is a scarcity, it's an avenue for them to make more gains. Because Nigeria, we are not sincere, we are not patriotic, we are not friendly. We are not talking of, we never mind what the pains the other Nigerians are feeling at expense of or at detriment of common Nigerians. So, but the problem, the genesis of the problem, it will be always traced back to the government. At first instance, we are not supposing to be exporting crude oil. We should have fixed our refinery to be functioning. Now, if that is not done, the subsidy saga will be continued. There's no way Nigerian government should remove subsidy as long as Nigerian government is not serious to fix the problem that that is coming from the malfunctioning of our refineries or the obsolete standard of our refineries. Angola itself is refining their products. Iran is refining their product. Kuwait is refining their product. Domestication is the major problem that we have. Now, until we get that one corrected, we should not be hammering on the subsidy alone. If Nigerian government should not be reasoning well that we should fix our refineries, you should never be beating drums that you are going to remove subsidy. You have to continue having that subsidy because that is the only sector that connects all other sectors of the economy. All other sectors in Nigeria, education sectors will be affected. Once the energy sectors is tampered, the same thing, even political sector will also be affected.
Right.
They are now running most of the things that you are running in respect of ballot paper and other things, logistics. It goes with the petroleum and petrol products. Now, there is no way you tamper the lifeblood of other sectors, the lifeblood of other sectors that even to the tune of health sector will also be affected. Now that we know that this is the only sector that connects our life, this is the only sector that our destiny lies upon, we shouldn't play with such a sector like Nigerian government is doing. Now, see the level of the pains. It's getting hotter on daily basis. The Nigerians are becoming poorer because of the fuel crisis. Many entrepreneurs shut down their outlets as a result of inability to cope with diesel, petrols, and all others petroleum products.
I was about to ask you this. The diesel, the subsidy has been removed. Kerosene, the subsidy has been removed. Now people that use this kerosene buy at the rate of 800 naira and above. Same thing applies to diesel. So why the cry on petrol?
The diesel, it is because the level of the consumption of the diesel is minimal to common Nigerians who are, by the time you are now going to when you are coming to the office, at least somebody that has car, we go to the filling station to have PMS.
Oh, yes.
And somebody who is running on Okada, we have PMS. But the diesel, the major consumer of the diesel,
the volume is not as
large, and that is why the people don't know that the subsidy on the diesel is removed and kerosene is removed, as well as aviation fuel is also removed. So, but all the sectors of economy are feeling it. Yes, because like now, if the power if you are having a sudden power outage, you start the generating power plants to run. So, and the consumption of the power plants for diesel, if you calculate it within 2, 3, 4 hours,
you know how much you have lost.
Yeah, that you have lost. That is why many entrepreneur or manufacturing company cannot be functioning in Nigeria again. That is why many investors are running away. We are clamoring for the investor to come up. And the investors will come in a crisis energy environment where the government cannot fix the price of the diesel, in which the government cannot fix the price of the petroleum, you don't expect a reasonable investor to come. Since we have been clamoring, how many investors that come all this while? The outlets are shutting down. The manufacturing company are shutting down. The even what do we call it? Non-governmentals and government enterprises also cannot be productive. So we can't have a productive economy where all this kind of instability and changes in the policies, frequent changes in the policy, inability to stand with favorable policy, inability to control the corrupt system that's eating up almost every sector. Because those who are in the corridor of power are beneficial of all these infringements on Nigerians. That is why when we are talking of, okay, fix the refinery, fix this, let our depot be functioning, there are benefits directly or indirectly. There are a lot of policy. There are a lot of policy that is going on. Many big cats in Nigeria's leadership, they are beneficial, they have the licenses. They distribute the major licenses among themselves to exploit Nigerians, to siphon Nigerian resources. That is where the problem comes. Until we have a patriotic and God-fearing leaders that we take over. But when do we have it? When we are recycling our leaders, the same set of people are recycling themselves to come to the corridor of power. So the problem that we are still having is midstream sector also. The midstreams are not working well. When we are talking of the midstreams, we are talking of the movement of the, that is transportation sectors of the oil sector. How do we move even from the crude level to the refinery, from the refinery to the end consumer? We have problem, the insurgency. So, you know, the pipelines
have been vandalized.
Yes, have been vandalized on a daily basis. And who are to be blamed for the vandalism? Are the Nigerians to be blamed? Are the funders to be blamed at first instance? Is the government also to be blamed? The reason why is this, at first instance, every nation that could not be able to fix the problem of the citizen in terms of unemployment, you expect all this. Why should vandalism is not an order of the day in America and United Kingdom? They have a fixed economy. The economy is at least is balanced. The welfare of the citizen have been taken care of. But Nigeria, where numbers of graduates are being produced on a daily basis and no job, there's no provision for the graduates, Nigerians. Now, what do you expect at first instance? And secondly, this is a digital world. How do Nigeria monitoring the pipelines from the depot to the end user? How do Nigerians monitor the tankers from the depot to the end user? This is a digital age. Nigeria are taking technology behind. Why must Nigerian government assign the security of the pipeline for the state of the people?
For a particular person.
That is primitive. Why should Nigeria now be able to have a technology that will be monitor the pipeline from the depot to the end user? Why? How do Saudi Arabia monitoring their own pipeline? How do Iran? How do Russia that connects the gas pipeline, Nord Stream pipeline from Russia to Germany, to Europe? How do they monitor it? See the distance. Within Nigeria cannot be able to fix that one till to date. And we are spending billions of naira for the set of people to be monitoring the pipeline. And that pipeline now, you are now talking that cannot be able to evacuate the petroleum product to the end user.
Yeah,
what a failure.
I can see you are highly pained with what is happening in the oil sector, especially premium motor spirit that is called petroleum. Recently, the 2023 budget was passed. The subsidy money was put in part of the subsidy. And the pump price was supposed to be 185 naira per liter. Well, at the moment, a lot of people are buying at 350, 400. Are they going to still put the subsidy in part of the budget?
Well, the hypocrisy that we have mentioned, are the Nigerians aware that the subsidy is added to the budget? Are the Nigerians aware? Nigerians are not aware. Not until it passed to the National Assembly and the National Assembly assent the budget. What is the purpose of being in the legislative corridor for our representatives, those senators and the House of Representative member? And we are not animal. They take our destiny to their hand, and they think they can just manipulate our destiny the way they like. Now, the subsidy is going to have a more serious negative impact on our economy if it is done. But I believe they should think wisely, because there are so many avenues to make incomes. There are still a lot of avenues, even within the oil sector, because we are mismanaging the resources. The inflation rate in Nigeria presently, that is it not MBS, Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, National Bureau of Statistics, is telling us that 21.47%, and it's higher than that. It's higher than that. We are deceiving ourselves. Like the Central Bank of Nigeria is telling that the first quarter of the year 2023, we will be having 15% reduction on inflation. So this is where we will be having 15% reduction in inflation, whereby fuel scarcity has become order of the day.
Has become a norm.
Has become the norms of the society. And you are now telling us that for the first quarter, you will be having a 15% reduction in the inflation. The inflation is increasing. The inflation is more than 50%. I'm telling you, sincerely speaking. You can see the consumables. In the last year to date, if you make a comparative analysis about 2 years ago and 3 years ago, the price of the consumable till date, you can see that it's in triple. Now the economy is almost, or let's say we are almost at recession already. The inflation level in Nigeria as present is as if there is war. And definitely there is emergency. The economy is already emerged economy that we are now running. Now, when there is war, you are having hyperinflation. We are now having hyperinflation because if you want to
without a war,
without the war, but there is war on the energy sector. There is war on the oil sector.
All right, let's because of our time. Time is running fast, and I know you are really highly pained with what is happening in the country at the moment. Yes, let me ask you this: minimum wage is 30,000. Now, fuel is about 300, 400, 350. And a lot of people are even saying in the eastern part of the country, they sell more than 400 naira. How are workers going to get to their place of work with this minimum wage? Everything is increasing and the salary is static.
It is painful. And Nigerians are becoming poorer. The provision for the workers in Nigeria is worse than saying it's bad. Nigeria's government is not considerate to an extent that the inflation rates that we are going through, the workers are running the same economy that every politician, every Nigerians are running. There is no alternative for the workers in the sense that if you are running inflation in the country, the private establishments at least can be managing to an extent because what you buy, you sell. What of the workers? Their salary is fixed. Minimum wage is 30,000 naira today. That minimum wage cannot buy Nigerians 50 kilograms of rice. A bag of rice with 30,000 naira. Minimum wage cannot buy a bag of rice. And you are telling me that Nigerian government is doing well. It's bad. It's a serious, it's as if we are weaponizing poverty more. That's the only weapon the government has. Instead of thinking of how do we take care of the workers, and the subsidy is removed. And at present, we are now clamoring that you cannot, the minimum wage cannot buy a bag of rice. When the subsidy is removed, how can we manage to sustain? How can Nigeria's worker manage to sustain? Both private and public servants. So definitely, 103 million Nigerians are living below poverty level. What are we expecting again? Definitely, we are expecting Nigerians above 180 million Nigerians to live below poverty level.
All right, before you let you go, finally, what do you think is the way forward?
Well, the way forward, we still divert our attention to the government as well, because when we are mentioning government, they are the leaders. Our destiny lies in their hands. So they control the what do we call it? Exclusive list, concurrent list, or whatever. So definitely our destiny is in their hands. They have to be patriotic. They have to think the welfare of the Nigerians they are governing. They have to fix our problem. They have to be considerate. Where the problem comes, our refineries they have to fix it for the fuel crisis. They try, even because the borrowing level is higher. We don't know how we utilize the borrow money, 77 trillion. Now, if you are to borrow to fix these refineries, get it done and let Nigeria be relieved. And we can still be having enough when the refinery are functioning. At least you will be having 10 naira on a liter of petroleum alone. 10 naira, and our daily consumption is not less than 70 million liters per day. Fix all these problems, fix our refinery. Compare Nigerians with the developing world. If you cannot be compared with developed world, developing world, they started somewhere. Let we Nigeria also get to the root to fix the problem. So that if the refineries are fixed, at least creation of job, Nigeria government will even be relieved. Insecurity will be relieved in terms of security. We will be relieved kidnapping, because thousands of Nigerians will be gainfully employed. You are now confessing that there's no job. Job creation is a problem. There is the one major source that we can fix the problem of unemployment. Let the 4 refineries be fixed instead of exporting the crude oil and dispensing huge amount of money on freights in dollars, as well as insurance. We cut that expenses and we will be using for the welfare of the Nigerians.
Alhaji Kazim Raji Halfas, it's always a lovely time having you on The Nation today. Well, a word is enough for the wise, as you've heard from my guest this wonderful morning. Let us fix our refineries. Let the government do the needful so that the citizens can enjoy staying in this country of ours called Nigeria. This is our parting shot for Our Nation today on Osbc TV this morning. My name is David Ojo. Join us same time next week when we bring another interesting topic, another wonderful analyst on the program. Once again, goodbye and God bless. Bye.
Compelling, contemporary, soul-searching, and thought-provoking. Indeed knows bar. On The Nation today, showing today. On Osbc television, The Nation today, capturing the essence of nationhood.